Kimura.se standing here with the legendary voice.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
How are you, Seth? Film him. Seth Petrozelli, the silverback. Yeah. The man who was on the leash of Tom Lawler at UFC 100.
Yes, that's me.
Yeah. And the man who knocked out Kimbo Slice in 14 seconds. We want to talk to you later, Seth. Yeah. All right, let's do this again. Kimura.se. Kimura.se. I just let it. We're just gonna shoot it. Standing here with the legendary voice of the Octagon, Bruce. How does it feel to be on this side of the microphone?
You know, I'm very comfortable being on this side of the microphone. I like that side. I like this side. I like being on camera. It's as simple as that. So,
tell us of what might be the greatest job in the world. Just, you know, roaming around, seeing the world, and watching amazing and tremendous fights.
You know, the biggest thing about this is that first and foremost, I'm a fan. I mean, I'm a fan first, and this is what drives me to the sport. I have a martial arts background since I was 12. I've got a couple of black belts. I kickbox as an amateur. I mean, I enjoy fighting. Fighting has been my life ever since I was a kid, thanks to my father who passed 2 years ago. So when I sit there in the Octagon and I watch these great warriors, the greatest warriors in the world today, fighting, I'm sitting there, as all you fans are sitting there, having a fantastic time. But think about this. I get the best seat in the house. I get to announce to 15, 20,000 people. Every time I say something, thank God, they like what I say, they roar. And then I get to sit down and I watch the greatest fights and I get paid. Oh my gosh, how great a job is that? And I travel to great exotic locales all around the world. I understand that this is a blessed job. I never forget, and I'm humble about it, and I'm thankful every day I wake up. I love it.
Tell us, it seems to be a family affair. Your father, your brother.
Yeah. Some people think he's my father, but he's my
brother.
No,
he's your brother. He looks, you just told me he's 66 years old.
66 years old. I'm 53, he's 66. Our father was amazing, and we have good genetics, but for me, I've been an athlete my whole life. Michael is basically built with like a model's body. I mean, his way of working out is to take the wine from here and put it to here. My way of working out is 2 hours a day grilling, but the genetics are fantastic. Michael is the greatest announcer in the world. He's historically an icon, and quite frankly, I thank Michael because when it comes to the ring announcers, Michael Buffer is what brought the attention to the ring announcers. Now, when I work, it's not about what I say, it's how I say it. And our styles are distinctly different. There was a writer one time that said, Michael is like a fine glass of Bordeaux, and I'm like a shot of Jack Daniels, right? And I agree. I think that's true. Because the last thing I want to be is Frank Sinatra Jr. I wanted to develop my own style. And I managed my brother's career. I've managed his career for 20 years. So we have a wonderful partnership, and it's great. Corner on the marketplace.
Well, that's a great humble approach to it. I mean, your brother has been in, he is what you call a popular icon in popular folklore. We gotta touch on the subject. I don't know if anybody asked you, what's the single greatest moment you ever witnessed in the Octagon?
You know, honestly, I've witnessed so many great moments that I have forgotten more than I can remember, which is why I'm starting my book this month, actually. And with that being said, I will say the greatest moment for me is when I got a call from Dana White, and he told me he had bought the UFC with Lorenzo Fertitta and Frank Fertitta. And then watching what they've done over the years, I bow to Dana every time I see him, because to me, with all the great moments that all of us experienced together, the greatest moment in mixed martial arts was when Dana White and the Fertitta brothers bought the UFC. Because if they did not, then you and I would not be being interviewed right now. We would be completely underground, and all the great things that happened in the past with Royce Gracie that I witnessed and announced and everything else would have taken place, but we would not be here doing what we do now. So thank you, Dana. You know, that to me is the greatest moment in MMA, sincerely, because that allowed all the great moments to take place.
We're going to finish up the interview with, I got a question for you. A couple of years ago, there was a rumor about an incident in an elevator with a UFC fighter who ended up walking into a couple of your punches, or could you divulge what actually happened, and maybe if you wanted to tell the viewers who that was?
Basically,
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
It's okay. I get asked this a lot. Basically, a long story cut short, that was Frank Trigg, who at that time was one of the top 10 welterweights in the world. And Frank and I are friends. We were having a drink that night. We got in the elevator on the 10th floor of the Hard Rock Casino in Las Vegas. Dana White happened to be in the elevator. The elevator had not closed yet. Frank had just been choked out by Matt Hughes, rear naked choke, which he got caught with twice, susceptible to the rear naked. He walked in and he said to Dana, when are you going to put me back in the Octagon? I had walked in beside Frank, and I noticed that Dana had this wonderful, I'm a watch freak, I love watches. He had this wonderful watch band on. So I stepped in front of Frank, asking Dana, where'd you get that watch band, right? Frank, in turn, behind me, like a sucker punch, ridge hand me into the throat.
Oh, really?
I turned around, I said, Frank, why the blank did you hit me? You blank hit me. He said the wrong thing to me. He said, what are you going to do about it? Trying to be tough in front of Dana. I reacted the way I would react with any man. I boom, boom, punched him twice in the stomach, and then he came back at me full force, and we went at it. The doors closed for 10 floors. We were bam, 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 bam. And then he tried to knee me in the...
What was Dana doing in the midst of all this?
Up against, right? As a security guy, and Mike Goldberg was there too. So we were going at it, and then when we hit the first floor, Frank tried to knee me in my privates, and then I shoulder turned him and pushed him against the wall. When he came back, I was going to slip in a rear naked choke, right? Yeah. And I thought to myself for a split second, let me go, call me Matt Hughes, bitch, right? But I didn't say that, right? And I stopped because the doors open. I thought, knowing the Hard Rock, there's glass and casements out there with memorabilia. We would both fall out, maybe get cut and hurt, and it'd be embarrassing to the UFC. And I'm Frank, we're done. So we were done, and when I looked down at my shirt, I had blood all up and down my shirt, because if you look at my thumb here, I took 5 stitches and a tetanus shot because it was peeled back. You could see the bone in my thumb. And I went to the paramedics and I said, can you fix this? And Frank was all like, oh, I'm sorry. And Dana was laughing, and we all had a good time. It was cool. So I got 5 stitches, a tetanus shot, got it all wrapped up, went out to a nightclub later, met a beautiful girl.
And life was good.
I had a great night. I announced the UFC. I got a friendly high school tete-a-tete with one of the top 10 welterweights. And then I went out, got some stitches, and then I kiss, you know, great night. 25 years old all over again. It was great.
We're just going to hang it up to, you know, MMA mythology. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Bruce Buffer, the legendary voice of the Octagon. He's as humble as you get, as long as you don't cross him. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for being fans of the UFC. I love you. Thank you.